Welcome to the Healthbeat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, and today we're talking about dance. What a wonderful exercise. We are here with the Oakland School of the Arts, where we are watching the wonderful dance training of Miss Hurley and Mr. Savage, who are the historical dance teachers from the Oakland School of the Arts. We're here at the Malunga Theater at the Alice Arts Center, right here in downtown Oakland. We're going to hear some about Mr. Reginald Savage, his background, how he is able to work this art and this athletic program with young people, as well as the wonderful Miss Hurley, who dances and directs herself. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. We're right here on the Healthbeat Show. Stay tuned. We've got a good one.
My name is Richie Carter. I'm here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center, and I'd like to get you screened in 2015.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
And we're right back here to the Healthbeat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, and I'm sitting with the most wonderful teacher, Ms. Allison Hurley. Welcome to the Healthbeat Show.
Thank you.
Okay, I've been doing this for almost 20 years actually here in Oakland. And this is the first time I think that I have had the opportunity to come to the Oakland School of the Arts and learn about the whole program of dance, which is athletic, but an art in itself.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your background, Ms. Hurley.
Well, I was born in France, in Toulouse, France, and then I moved here when I was about 6. And before that, I started taking ballet classes just as a young person, as a hobby, and moved here and continued to take some ballet classes for a while, but it was just a hobby. And I got bored with it. I got tired of it.
Oh, you did?
And so I tried my attempt at vaulting, which is gymnastics on horseback. I don't know if you've heard about that. Shockingly enough.
Is that kind of like in the circus you might see that?
Yes, exactly. It's like that.
Ooh,
so,
that's dangerous.
Yeah,
wow.
It's very dangerous. And so not surprisingly, I broke my ankle doing that.
Oh.
So that sort of sidelined me, and I tried to get back into it, and then I was like, you know what, no, let me go back to dance. So then I was looking for something dance-wise, a little bit away from ballet, just because I had been tired of it at that moment in time as a young person. And I found jazz, and I found Mr. Savage's class, and kind of the rest is sort of history. I dance in Savage Jazz Dance Company, which is Mr. Savage's professional company, and started teaching officially at Oakland School for the Arts 3 years ago, but have been helping Mr. Savage with the school since 2003 when he got here. So that's kind of the background.
Well, it looks like you're doing a wonderful job, and the students are very responsive to you.
They should be. That's good. That's good. That's
You're
what we
their
want.
teacher.
That's
You're
what
their
we want.
teacher. And you know, the one thing that I like about it, and my daughter's in your class, Angela, it seems almost like a sport in some degree, in that there's stretching, there's muscle building.
Definitely.
You know, your air, jumping, landing correctly.
Yeah.
But I guess just like any sport, there's the potential for injury.
Absolutely.
And what are the most common injuries that we see that dancers have?
Very common injuries for dancers are lower extremity injuries, ankles and feet. There's just a lot of fancy footwork, honestly, more so than the pedestrian. Hip injuries, because there's a rotation happening from the top of the hip, which is not natural.
Well, I see you guys stretching. I see when I first time I saw Angela stretch, I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? But she can really stretch now. She can really stretch. So all of that is preparing you to be able to do all the different types of moves that you all do.
Yeah, so it's very important for dancers to have both a very fine balance of flexibility and strength. If you have too much of one and not of the other, you're setting yourself up for an injury of some kind. As well as body mechanics, alignment, and that's where class comes in technique class, knowing what muscles you should be engaging when and how that affects where your bones are lined up. And so all of that is part of creating a sound
It's a
dancer.
whole, you have to take care of your whole body.
Absolutely.
Your whole body.
And your mind.
And your mind. And do you, so in that, since you're talking about that, is there a particular diet that you like the students to
You know,
have?
it's interesting, but for the most part, we've tried to shy away from too many recommendations, official recommendations. But when students do ask, I definitely do give them my opinion. But there's so many opinions on diet and so many different things that work for different people that we try not to force one opinion on them. But in general, I always encourage them to have as much as possible a natural diet. Away from processed foods, and obviously lots of proper hydration, but vegetables and protein. And then the starches, we try to keep it not refined carbohydrates, so more fruits and vegetables, and some of them can do well with, you know, rice and potatoes and stuff like that. But
now you have a big show coming up. Tell me a bit about the show, where it's going to be, when it is, and what the theme of the show is.
Okay. Well, so the spring dance concert for Oakland School for the Arts, we only have one every year. So we always encourage people to really come out and come see the one and only show that they work the whole year basically towards that show. There's a lot of training in the beginning of the year and then show preparation towards the end. There's not necessarily a theme for the show. We have seniors choreographing, our whole senior class of 2015, and so they always have their own voice on it, and that's so that always puts the show.
So they
into
actually
themes.
choreograph it themselves.
They choreograph each one piece, and we've got 4 seniors this year, so we'll have 4 senior pieces, and then we've got 2 guest choreographers. So we have one guest choreographer, Ms Tila Shine, who's presenting work on the middle school students, and then another guest choreographer, Mr. Jalen Preston, who's doing a piece on the high school. And then we've got Mr. Savage choreography.
Oh, yes.
And anybody who has seen Savage Jazz Dance Company, we actually have a couple of repertory pieces from the company that we set on the students. So it's kind of interesting if people come from there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for teaching these young folks and for teaching my daughter. And you guys are doing a wonderful job, and I so much look forward to seeing the show. I'll be here for sure. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. We're learning a bit about dance, about stretch, about diet, about exercise, breathing, all of those things that you need to do to stay healthy. Right here with Ms. Allison Hurley from the Oakland School of the Arts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, right here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center. Remember to get a screen in 2015. Heart disease, #1 cause of death. We'll test your heart, your carotids, your blood vessels of the abdomen and legs. I always say that if you knew better, you could do better. And your health is your wealth. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. How you doing? I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, right here with the Healthbeat News. You know, for our young people between the ages of 15 and 21, unintentional injuries are the #1 cause of death. And what I'm talking about is motor vehicle accidents and homicide. You got to treat a car like a dangerous machine. Put your seatbelt on, focus. Don't drive while you're drunk or after you've been using drugs. Homicide, there's no reason for it. Stay away from people who have guns. If your partner has a gun, you know, you don't need to be there with them at the time, because so many times you're going to hear people say, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Stay away from the guns. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. Remember always that your health is your wealth, and when you have your health, you have everything. Remember that if you knew better, you could do better. And we're back to the Healthbeat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, and we are with the most famous Reginald Savage, who has both a dance company and is the director here at the Oakland School of the Arts, where you're about to put on a big, fabulous spring show.
Yes, we are.
Tell me just a little bit about your show that you got coming on here at the Oakland School of the Arts.
Well, right now, we do one show. Actually, it's a show that is 4 performances, but it's one show a year because I believe in prepping and preparing young people to do their best, be their best, and dance their best. So I'm not into so much performing, but I wish that I hope that I instill in most young people the preparation and the training to go after bigger things than dancing at a high school.
So it's almost like coaching and giving them life principles then.
That's what I love to do, is prepare a young person to go out and have the courage and strength and character to go after their dreams. I don't want this to be the high point of their lives. I don't want to talk about high school as that was the high part. I want them to talk about high school was the starting point. So
how it prepared them for other hurdles.
Yes.
So for instance, just on that note, somebody dancing falls down, what do you tell them?
Get up.
Get up.
Get up. I want them to have the, I was a worker bee when I was a dancer. So I had to work for everything. Didn't have great feet. I had a nice turnout in the hips, but everything was, then on top of that, I started about at 18. And so I had a lot of catching up to do. But
so you really practiced as a dancer.
Right. I had to get the, it was so hard. I was so bad at it. I used to get thrown out of class. I actually physically got thrown out of class, and a couple times. Almost like the joke with the Fresh Prince, where they would kick the DJ out the house. You know, they would throw the DJ out. Well, I actually got thrown out of class quite a few times because I was so bad at this. And I can't tell you why, but I kept coming back to eventually the teacher got tired of throwing me out of class. So therefore...
Were you bad or you just couldn't dance?
At that time, it was a combination of both. In fact, I remember after I got thrown out 2 or 3 times, I came back for the 4th time. All the girls started crying in class. They said, "Please leave, Reggie, please. We don't want to watch him throw you out again." It was really funny because somehow my ego didn't keep me from, because the simplicity and the demands were so clear in dance that I figured, like, if I break even, I'm all right. And that's how I kept coming back. Other than that, I don't know why I kept coming back.
You know, you said something very important. You said you didn't let your ego get in the way.
Yes.
It's just like in other, you know, dancing is athletic.
Yes.
In other sports, let's say you were, I loved football, let's say you were a defensive back and you got burnt. You know, you could say, "Oh, the game's over," or you were a quarterback and you threw an interception. You gotta have amnesia about whatever you did bad and keep on coming back.
Right, and that's exactly, because I come from I played Little League football. I started to play B team football in high school, and what happened? A big lineman cracked his
femur.
Yeah, and I was on the bench at the time. I wasn't in the game yet. And they threw him behind the bench to wait for an ambulance
or something.
So what was funny was my brain goes, "Wow, that's what they did to him."
What they gonna do to me? Yeah.
Do to me. So I quickly, and it seemed like everybody got bigger, and I looked like I got smaller. And I was like, "Man, let me find something else to do." And so, but I never said I was gonna be a dancer. I was just so bad at it that eventually I just kept doing it.
Yeah. Did you get further formal training? Did you go to any dance institutes or get any further formal training, or you just taught yourself?
No. You know what happened at first? I'm a bookworm. I'm a closeted bookworm, and I used to spend a lot of time in libraries. So my initial reaction to dance, this is a true story. I used to work at the Muni Opera in St. Louis. It's the biggest, at the time was the biggest. It's one of the biggest outdoor theaters in the country. And I used to work there selling sodas. And I always had my back to the theater as a little boy. So I never looked on stage because I just was totally not interested. And eventually I wound up working there as a dancer, which I always found really strange. But since I got hooked on the dance bug by this woman taking me to a concert to see my first dance concert ever was the great Rudolph Nureyev. And I couldn't even say his name. Rudolph Nureyev.
Right.
And it was like, I didn't tell anybody she was taking me, right? So she takes me to the concert, and she brought the tickets. She said, "We're going to the ballet." I was like, I'm like, what? But I really wanted to impress this girl, so of course I went. But I get there, and my eyes are like, oh, wow. One of them I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
So I thought something was wrong with me, to be honest with you. Because I was like, because you know what I did? I snuck back into the theater. Because in the Muni, the top seats are free seats. So if you're in St. Louis, you got nothing else better to do, go to the free seats, Muni during the summer. So I get to the free seats, I get all the way down. Each intermission, I get closer to the stage. Because there's not a lot of people there. And I fell in love with dance. And I went back to the library. And I pulled down all these dance books. Literally, to this day, I have a thought if I walk into the University City Library, those librarians are still there and they waiting to kick my little butt.
Get those books back.
So I get in there, I see pictures. So I try to get to the pictures. Like, how did he get there? And that didn't make any sense. And one thing led to another. I met these girls at Forest Park in St. Louis, part of the Catherine Dunham troupe. And I was trying to impress these girls, and they said dance. I thought they meant disco and a party. And I said, yeah, and they called me out. They invited me to class. And
rest is history.
Rest was that was it. And I was so bad, like I said, I was so bad that my ego wouldn't let me. I said, as soon as I get to be all right, and I just wanted to be all right, I was gonna quit.
Well, now you were off the stage.
Later.
You told me that you came up at a time when Michael Jackson came up, Prince came up. Here you have a variety of styles, jazz, ballet. I'm sure you can hit it.
The Haitian stuff for the Dunham thing in the background. A little Graham, a little. I just wanted to dance. I wanted to be a dancer. And that's one thing that the Dunham school taught me. Be a dancer and then let time or let situations dictate what style you was gonna do. And that's what I try to tell the kids, be the best dancer you can be. And then it's really funny because they make faces and they frown up about the ballet thing. But I only use ballet as a tool to make you a better dancer.
Give you a foundation.
Right. So it's like learning the piano, there's only one piano. There's no jazz piano, there's no ballet piano, there's no pop or rock. There's only a piano. There's just Duke Ellington. You can put Duke Ellington, Tchaikovsky, Mozart, all in the same room. They're just gonna play the piano differently because they hear it differently. Neither one of them would say.
And dance, it's an artistic style, but it's also athletic.
In the beginning, you're an athlete. When you're young, and you're going for the job, the gig, you are a young athlete, and they want you to be gods of the heavens. The artistry comes usually in time, and that's another thing I have a problem with, because we no longer use time to describe artists. When you and I was growing up,
their body of work.
Right. But now,
over time,
now every young person in the world wants to be an artist. You can do one album and you're the next Marvin Gaye. And people forget Marvin Gaye went through a process to become Marvin Gaye. And people forget that.
What about the great athletes though? I remember the Oakland Ballet used to have the Oakland A's dance with them.
Yes.
And then you got now Dancing with the Stars, and you always have one of these athletes dancing. Does that change or affect their ability to move within their other sport?
Anything that's positive about moving is going to help one another. There's a connection. There's not one sport you can take, and I can't show you its connection to dance. From boxing to baseball to, there's not one sport. But nowadays, most kids don't play sports right now. You know what's funny about that? Because I go into it and they look at me and I use a sport metaphor and they turn into Scooby-Doo on me. But the connection to the athleticism has always been there with me. I'm basically, as a kid growing up, as a young man growing up, a poor, starving artist. I worked enough to keep from dying being poor, but what was funny about that, I never learned to drive. And so only way I could impress women at the time was dance. You know, there's not a woman in the world that does not want to be swept off her feet. So
you had to ease on down the road, huh?
That's right. So the dance thing actually, if I don't dance, I'm gonna meet the wonderful, wonderful, beautiful ladies that was in my life because it took that side of to see, he's a real human being, not just fill in the blank. And so that's one reason, like I said, I told you earlier, dance taught me two very important things. One, the ability to love without being loved, which is very important to me. And patience.
That's an interesting concept.
Right, because we forget, that's the art side of dance. The art side of dance, you'll never get back what you give to dance, never. So what you got to, and the reason why people keep doing it, they start finding other things they get out of it, not the obvious things. If you're looking for the obvious things, there's no such thing as an ex-rich famous dancer. It doesn't exist. But I tell the kids all the time, the ability to have the confidence and the courage to love without being loved back is the basis of all things that we think is right in life. Because the way we talk about things like love, it's a tit for tat thing. That can't be love.
Right.
So love is about here.
You're doing God's work.
See?
You're doing God's work.
And that's always been, the dance studio and the stage has always been my church. So every time I touch a ballet bar, every time, I can actually hear the music go, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Now, I get on the kids and I say, now I know I'm supposed to be here. The question becomes, are you supposed to be here? Because to not want to commit and to train yourself to be fearless. My thing is to try to get young people, I want you to dance at 20, 24, 25, 30. That's the trick. Anybody can say they want to dance at this part of their life, but can you go without having a car? Can you make it? What's success? And all of a sudden they're forced to realize they have to figure out what success means to them, and that's a scary thing for a young person because usually success means money and this, that car. If I had to learn to drive a car, I couldn't take the classes I needed. And I figured out this theory. I always had it like this: if I get a car, I gotta get any kind of job to keep the car. Now that I got any kind of job, I want a better car, so I gotta get a better job. So I get a better job and a better car, I'm gonna want that better woman. So I get that better job, better car, better woman. So by the time I look up at 28, life is over.
You pretty deep.
See? So
you pretty deep in depth.
No, I'm just a dancer, the end.
All right. Well, we are with the great Mr. Reginald Savage here at the Oakland School of the Arts. in the Malanga Theater.
Yes.
Malanga Kusalag
Yes.
Theater.
Beautiful man.
And we will be enjoying a wonderful spring show. And thank you so much for teaching my daughter.
No, that Dr. Watson, in all honesty, it's a pleasure and an honor that you trust me to teach your daughter. And you teach, and that's the thing that I'm proud of more than anything, the fact that you, and any of the families that trust me enough to help their kid get or be part of their dream. So the pleasure is all mine. And as I tell the kids every year at the graduation ceremonies, it has not always been a pleasure, but it's definitely been an honor to teach these young people.
All right. Well, it's an honor for me to be here with you today.
Thank you, my brother.
We thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reginald Savage, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, right here on the Healthbeat Show, where you will always hear me say that your health is your wealth. And when you have your health, you have everything. We'll see you next time.
You have everything. Take my word, but I heard about the Healthbeat you're gonna be. How you wanna be? Show me how it will be. How you wanna be? Show me how. To the show, the more you'll know about your health, so body and mind. 'Cause the more you know, your life will show you how.